After Iron Man turns evil and releases an app that transforms people's bodies into their perfect versions, Tony stops the temporary effects and suddenly starts charging a daily fee of $100 for anyone who doesn't want to return to their normal body. As the world becomes even more divided, since only the rich can afford the app while the poor are further humiliated, Daredevil becomes furious and decides to visit Stark Island to confront Tony and destroy the app. Tony quickly grabs Daredevil by the chest and throws him into the ocean, knowing his greatest weakness is being underwater. After struggling to figure out which way was up, Daredevil eventually survives and soon discovers that Tony is hosting a party, announcing to the guests that he will be in San Francisco the next day and that everyone who joins him will receive 24 hours of free access to the app. The next morning, Tony is flying over San Francisco when a man named David suddenly appears, furious, claiming that Tony's app has addicted his son. David points a gun at Tony's head and fires, calling him a monster. Iron Man surprisingly survives, revealing he was wearing an invisible helmet, then grabs David and flies him high into the sky. Tony begins investigating David and his son Simon, eventually learning that Simon had been exposed for assaulting a woman to get his tuition money. Tony offers to clear Simon's criminal record if David uses the app and pretends the attack was part of a staged performance. David reluctantly agrees. The two return to the crowd, and everyone applauds Tony, except for the Daredevil who was there too and heard their entire conversation. A little later, the Daredevil then invades the Stark mansion and kidnaps a drunken Tony. Hours later, when Daredevil finally confronts Tony, Tony tries to attack him but is knocked out with a single punch. Tony then reveals that his new armor works like a symbiote stored in his bloodstream, instantly equipping itself, and uses it to knock Daredevil out. A short while later, Daredevil wakes up without his mask, and Tony tells him it's a gift, making Daredevil realize he has regained his vision. Tony explains that he used the app on him and offers him lifetime access if he stops interfering with his plans. When Daredevil refuses, telling Tony he shouldn't play God, Tony replies that he's not playing God, that he's been playing human for far too long. He immediately punches Daredevil in the face and flies out of his apartment. Now, with only a short time of vision left, Daredevil decides to call his friend Foggy so he can finally see his best friend's face before slowly losing his sight again.